Okay, so I am starting a little bit early. It is dark, and I will not be bothered to have a light shining in my face because I've been struggling with a headache today. So you'll have to forgive me. This is the image that you will be seeing here in this live stream. So that's just how it is. Let's see now. Let me know if you can hear me, if the sound is okay. I always try to remember to ask you guys if you can hear me. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think you can. Okay. So, 76 people, 81. Lots of people moving into this live stream, watching, and hopefully joining the chat as well. Now, I would like to ask you one thing, and that is um, to reply to the question in the title. Where will you be, or what will you be doing? What's your situation 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now? And of course, you can be as detailed as you want, or not detailed at all. That's up to you, of course. Berserker Gang 2019. Thanks a lot, my friend, and school to you. Check out Berserker Gang 2019 here on YouTube. Now, let's see. I wanted to frame the question like that because my other alternative for the title was let's all go feral or feral. You know, you have domesticated cats and you have feral cats, and my suggestion is let's all go feral. Um, because maybe that's the only option you will be left with. And I will take you along with me on a little bit of a journey into the future, if you will, a possible scenario. First of all, I will give you another possible scenario, and you can let me know in the chat if you believe that that scenario is likely to happen. This whole plague, that's a code word. You know what I mean when I say that, goes away, and our governments, they drop all the requirements for getting the Big Mac twice a year. And everything goes back to normal. That's one possible scenario, you know. And another possible scenario is that this will just continue. And we will get a segregated society. And I've talked about this before, you know this. We will have the people who are going along with the program. They are rolling up their sleeves. They are being good boys and girls, doing as they're told. Not voicing any opinions on social media that are not tolerated by the people in charge of the operation, and so on. But the problem is that in order for you to stay in that group of people that, the establishment tolerates, you will have to do more and more. You will have to balance on a knife's edge, and you will be continually subject to chemical intrusions into your physiology, so to speak. I won't get into the details of that. I can't here on this platform or social media at all. But the problem is that as time goes by, more and more people will come to the conclusions that they cannot do this anymore. They will be thrown out, and they will be in that other group where you will find people like us, people like me, and you guys. We will already be there. So the question is, how do we survive? How do we thrive? And how do we build an alternative community? And what's that going to look like? And where will you be? That's why I'm asking you. 1 year from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now. I will get back to that. Just having a look here at the super chats. Sonia Wick, thanks for that awesome donation. American living in Vassøy. Okay. Daniel, long time friend, if I can say that, of this channel. Thanks for the donation. Says, hopefully in enough years I will be somewhere in the Andes or the mountains of Tierra del Fuego, living in safety, holiness, and building a pure life. I always wanted to go to Tierra del Fuego. So, Pauline Young, welcome as a member to the channel. Now let's see if I missed any here. So, Joseph, can we move in with you? Well, no, not really. It would be very crowded, Thank you for asking. So lots of people are saying that they will move, and now let's see here. Okay, you'll have to forgive me. I'm just scrolling up a little bit. People are talking about getting together. Suggestions here, locations: Andalusia in Spain, and there is Nuremberg 2.0 says there is no alternative, Bjorn. They won't let us live free. I will talk about that. Okay. Yeah, because that was actually my next bullet point, my mental bullet point here. I disagree respectfully. I respectfully disagree. And I think I have. It's not my opinion only, but if you look back at history and so on, you will see that in many of these totalitarian states, you always had people who opted out, and they lived outside of the grid. Just wanted to shout out here to Olivia Rackley. She says, also a friend of the channel. as a member, and she's helping the channel out a lot with donations. And she says, "Does anyone want to start a farm or need help with a farm? I have much knowledge." Olivia Rackley here in the chat says. Um, well, if we look at similar situations, because there's nothing new about this, you typically have people living outside of that. And for different reasons, they are, I wouldn't say it's not like it's been tolerated, but it's, I guess it just happens. And now it's because of technology, it is not as easy to do that. But I will say this, and I have looked into this, and I have talked to people who are working with this and know what they're talking about. If you do not have any device on you that can be tracked, and if you know how to, getting into the really far out, it's a little bit far out for some people, but if you know how to shield yourself from above, heat-seeking cameras and so on, they will not find you, you know. So it is a matter of getting far, getting away far enough, getting a solid distance between you or your community and the grid. And that can be done because if you look at the world, most of the world is not populated at all. It's wilderness. And that's what I'm actually talking about now. We're not there yet. I hope it won't get to that, but I mean, it is looking more and more tempting by the day, actually. And some will say, "Oh, yeah, drink water for headaches." Well, I have water here. Well, and some will say, "Well, you won't survive out there. You won't manage." Nonsense, nonsense. Why is it? And I really hate that attitude, this defeatist attitude. Why is it that for some reason now in is it 2021, suddenly as a human being you're not able to survive out in the wild living off the land? Why would that be? Because people have been doing that since the dawn of time. So why wouldn't we be able to, why shouldn't we be able to do that? Yes, most people would not be able to do that. But let's say you have a group of 10 people, or let's say 2 families. And if you have one person in that group who knows what he or she is doing, who know things like tracking, trapping, hunting, fishing, building a shelter, not talking about some of the stick shelters you see on YouTube, but can you build a log cabin? Now, I have never built a log cabin. I must admit, I've never built a log cabin. So, but if you have some of these skills and experience and you allow that person to lead that work, you will manage. It will be hard, but you will manage. Now, of course, you should have a physician or a nurse and so on. You should have um, not only a first aid kit, of course, but a wide array of medicines and so on and so on. And yeah, I can't get into that here, because how to get that in such a situation, um, mm, it's not really. It's not really. I can't really talk about these things here, but um, what I'm trying to say is that you must build a group of people with some skills. And again, this is real life, guys. This is not a movie. It's not a Hollywood action movie. And as someone who spent many days outside where there is no electric lights. Well, actually, now that I'm on YouTube, I do have electric light on my camera and so on. So there's a bit of that, But I've spent a lot of time out in the woods. It is not like in the movies. It's hard to describe. Actually, it's a totally different setting than most people's lives. It's much more healthy. It's better for your soul and your mentality and so on. But yeah, okay. So I truly believe that if you have a group of people who are, respectful of each other and they have some useful skills, they are realistic and not stupid. You will survive and you will be able to build a community, with similar groups. Now, Amarillo66 says, in 10 years, I'll be living by myself with plenty of stuff to keep me entertained, and I'll have my own house with a dog. That's kind of how I myself in 10 years. Very ambitious, I know. No, I think it should be very realistic. So, yeah, and also just so a commentary, if it goes south, all those I can't say the word, but many people going to come to your countryside. Now, I guess I understand what you're referring to, but let me just comment on this idea. Not saying that's what you're saying, but if there's an idea that if it goes south or sideways or bad, lots of people will go into the woods or wilderness, and they will make life hard for you out there. Again, I disagree because it is just not realistic. They would break down and cry after a day, or not after a few hours, at least after a day or two. After the first night when they've been cold, scared, they haven't had any sleep, they will turn and walk back to where they came from, to the electric lights. And they will probably, most of them, they will just do as they're told, because it's their only option, the way they will see it as their only option. Now, also, I'll have to get into something very, very dark. Again, it's this defeatist attitude that I see a lot of. There is no hope, we can't do anything. And whatever I say here, there will be someone saying that no, we can't do that. They will find you. They will do this. They will do that. No, no, they won't. They might try. We're talking about, okay, I started this live stream by saying that we have another scenario, okay? We also have this scenario. Now we're talking about this scenario, okay? I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I will not say what I think because I think you already understand what I think, if I had to bet money on this. Prepper Nation is here saying people have the power, but it takes organization. That's the hard part. Yes, absolutely. Now, this defeatist attitude is very harmful. First and foremost, it takes your hope and motivation away, which is not good, to say the least. But there is another thing here, and can you imagine what people who have left everything behind? Maybe they had a, successful career, nice house, and they had to flee. And now they're building, you know, with sticks and stones. They are building a new community out in the wilderness from nothing. From nothing. They have their hands in the dirt digging. And life is hard. And then, as some people are saying, well, they will find you. The government, the powers that be, they will find you and they will try to force you into submission again. Here's what I think. That will not happen. That's what I think. And this is the dark part of this. And I'll try to use the right words. I don't want to get in trouble. There will be violence if that happens, There will be bodies buried out there because if you take everything away from someone and you force them to start over again from nothing, and then again you come after them, can you imagine the anger? And these people will be resourceful people. Those people who have started out there somewhere in the wilderness, they will be resourceful people. And I know you Americans, you love your guns. I will tell you, it doesn't matter if you have a gun or not. If you have a stick or a stone in your hand, or your bare fists, I don't have to finish that sentence. And I think it will be very, very hard to force people like that into submission. Okay. Utemedsi, wow, thank you for that awesome donation. Thanks a lot. And Berserker Gang 2019 says, thanks a lot, and saying I will be a Viking Rambo if it comes to that. And Interesting question here. Will you ever teach at a college? Not really, but I have done lectures now and then. So now let's see here. Yeah, well, also yeah, you know, okay, sorry, I'm rambling here, but looking at the comments here, and there it is. Ursus the pipe smoker. No, I would rather have a potato in my hand. Yes, much better to have a potato in your hand. Growing your own food. All preppers are saying or should say that that's what you need to do. You should learn how to grow your own food. You should start growing your own food, and I say that even if you live in a flat, you should do that. You can do that in a flat on the windowsill. It won't obviously keep you self-sustained with food, but there is the mentality of that is very important. So again, where do you see yourself 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I'll just try to imagine for myself how this will look 1 year from now. I think that if I had to bet money on this, I would say we will be pretty much in the same situation, a little bit worse maybe, because the strategies chosen by certain people, they seem to move us in a certain direction, so to speak. Say no more. People will be angrier a year from now, more desperate, and sick and tired of it all, But there will also be, I would say, a majority of people 1 year from now who have been conditioned to believe that this is how things are supposed to be. This is good. This is right. And they love the rules. It's simple. As I've said many times before, these people, they love rules because it's simple and it makes them feel better than other people. Denmark Beer, thanks a lot for the donation. That's awesome. So Joseph, thanks for the donation. Joseph writes, the court struck down the mandate for now. The Biden regime now told them, yeah, I won't read the whole thing, but yeah, I read about that. But I also read that, and maybe if you're in Germany, because I read that it will be mandated in Germany from next year. So yeah. Five years from now, I think many things will be different. 5 years from now, we will certainly have a I think we can just call it for what it is, social credit score system in place. How that will look, I don't know, but it will be a. And if you don't know what it is, just look it up. And add China. You will you will see what it is. It's horrible. So I think we will have that in place before it's been 5 years from now, even in our part of the world. And it won't matter if one country, let's say Norway, if our government here, if they say, well, we do not do that here, it's against our constitution, which it certainly would be, but it won't matter because the big tech companies, they will implement that. They are already doing that, I believe, and they don't care about small countries. They don't care about countries at all. They have their own agenda and they will just do it. And if you're closed, shut out of all the major platforms and the, let's say, the credit card companies and PayPal and so on and so on, if they also join in on that, which they will, life will be very hard. And I think that will be in place before it's been 5 years from now. 10 years from now. I hope something has happened before it's been 10 years from now that has woken up people. Because it's the way I see it, either that or, as I said, going feral out there. And I won't speculate where I will be 10 years from now. But if this continues, it won't be good 10 years from now, for most people. You will have to get off grid and you will have to build a community, and you should have built that community before it's been 10 years from now. Okay. Tara, aloha from the shores of Kauai, out to each and every one of you. Unite now, regardless of party, race, gender, religion. Yes. And you're also writing that. Oh, you wrote that twice. That's nice of you, and thanks for the donation. Paulo Duarte, thanks for the donation. That's awesome. If you want peace, prepare for war. So, here's the thing, don't take my word for it. There is, if you're an adult, it's your duty to, sorry, to be awake or to wake up, to gather information about what's going on, and from that objective information, making conclusions. Do not make conclusions based on your belief system. Do not make conclusions based on what you want to be true. Make those conclusions based on facts. And I see many people not following that method. They start at the other end there. They have some opinions, they have some maybe religious beliefs and so on, and they will find the facts and cherry pick the facts supporting that. Don't do that. It will not help you. it will lead you astray. That's my honest opinion on that. John says, I think this is bigger than the sea. Yes, I agree, certainly. uh, let's see here. Yeah, the children. Yes, Martine, exactly. Now, yeah, okay. Let me first comment on the Jesus thing. I'm trying not to be disrespectful here, but you cannot. It doesn't help anyone to just say that Jesus will save us, or Jesus, you will only be saved if you accept Jesus and so on. You will have to save yourself, okay? And so, no, you can't just sit there and expect to be saved by anyone, you know. Okay, the children, as I've said before, for me, if it was only me, I wouldn't care so much, to be honest with you. I'm Yeah, don't get the Jesus thing started here. I'm a Norse heathen. Please have some respect, okay? Daniel, Odin, yes, thank you. I will respect your belief system, but you will have to respect mine. That's the rule here. Goes both ways, actually. The children. That is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. And if you're a parent, you will know what I'm talking about. And that leads us to what Berserkergang 2019 says here. Let's talk about in 10 years. Because if you have kids, chances are they will be either in 10 years, they will be teenagers, probably, or adults in 10 years from now. And what you're doing now, you should, you do it for your kids. That's goes without saying. And it's like, I think it's Jethro Tull, that band. They have a line in one of their songs. I can't remember the words now, but it's so beautiful because it's about stones laid to form a fence, laid by the father for the son. Um, and that's what it's about, and that's why we are doing what we're doing. And I I think that any government or any large corporation or any organization, any force outside of you that tries to take that away from you, that part where you care for your kids, and if they try to own your kids, that's what I'm trying to say here. And we see that a lot. We have a problem. That is why I have a problem with, by the way, the Norwegian way of enlisting young people to the military, because it's basically saying that the state owns your children. Legally speaking, that is what it is, and I have a big problem with that. So this is a topic in itself, but 10 years from now, we must have built something outside of, let's call it the grid, that is a safe, healthy, and good place to be for our children. And that's the most difficult part, right? So just wanted to say that. Olivia, before I comment on your super chat there, Olivia, just saw a comment here in the chat. Someone going to the military soon, but he said, I'm not serving the state, I'm serving the people. Yes, I understand, but guess what? It's not the people giving you orders, it is actually the state. So keep that in mind. It's a tricky one. Olivia, the Irish Morrigan was warning a lot of people that a mass die-off was coming, and that in 5-10 years period, all the world would have collapsed and over 90% of humans would be gone. And thanks for the donation there. Let's see. Thanks again, Paolo. Keep fighting the good fight. I think we all are. Those of us who are awake will be the tip of the spear on the revolution. Yes, I think so too. Some people are saying we'll be at war in a year from now. Yeah. Now, again, this is a common thing that happens here. If you want to come here and preach, that's actually what you're doing. It's, I have many friends who are Christians, and I have nothing against that, but please leave it out of the chat. This is not about that. So please be respectful, okay? And it's been a long day, and I really don't have the patience for that. You'll have to go somewhere else, and you will find a million flipping YouTube channels with that thing going on. So go there instead. Okay. George Gillen, thanks for the donation. Yeah, go to Christian chat. It's like, yeah, I won't. Now I said it, so if that's difficult, then I will be ignoring it from now on. It would be a good Catholic. I don't kneel. I've knelt. Is that the word? Knelt? once in my life, for except when I'm tying my shoelaces. Once. Guess why I did that. Strider, thanks for the donation. Christianity is mass hypnosis. There certainly is an element of that, but I tend to disagree also, because it can be a private thing, and there is a lot of spirituality in that as well. So I try to be respectful. Um, Collie Fortune, thanks for the donation. This will either be the historic adventure of a lifetime, or 10 years from now we will look back and laugh. I'm hoping for the last one there. um, in either case, I believe there are more of us and we will prevail. Thank you for being a voice in the wilderness. Well, I try to be, and as you said, there are more of us and we will prevail. Proposal. Your wife. Yes, that's true. Was knighted. uh, uh, so, okay. Question here: how heavy are restrictions in Norway? Uh, it's funny because it's again where I live, in this county where I live, we are surrounded by counties, as we were last time, where they because it's regional. What they're doing is they are doing this on a regional level, and it's we're like an island, or we are by the coast. So yeah, but a island surrounded by counties with I think mask mandates and so on and so on. Don't ask me about the rules for traveling into Norway, because it's changing by the day. I maybe not by the day, but I can't keep track. Can't keep track. So but also it's almost like they are implementing new uh, restrictions every day, and they have the thing with the QR code on your smartphone. And as I said in my last live stream, that was this morning. I'm being very active this today, and I made my own smartphone. I whittled a smartphone. It's made from aspen, and this is it says here, I can do what I want. And this is an image, a photo of me. I'm smiling. I have my hat on, and this will be my passport to pass, or certificate, so that I can get into places. That's why my plan. Yeah. But yeah, they are. Yeah, it's beginning now. Yeah, it's beginning. Hello from Florida, Donna Bubona. Thanks for the donation. Florida is not that's not a bad place to be now, you know. Vebjørn Sandvik, well, thank you for that awesome donation. Lots of interesting thoughts. Wish we could have a long conversation out in in real life. And well, thank you for that. Now I think I got all the super chats. Interesting question. Monkoko64 is asking, when you were competing in powerlifting in 2012, how much did you weigh? Because that was the World Cup. It didn't have the status of World Championship, but it was, in effect, the World Championship because they had new rules concerning equipment that was approved for. Yeah, I won't get into those details and bore you with that, but I weighed 112 or 113 kilos. Yeah. So that was not, I didn't like that much. I weighed that much because I was put in the weight class above my normal weight class. So I had to eat a lot in preparing for the meet so that I would, the heavier or fatter you are, in addition to your muscle mass, the more you will lift normally. If you see, by the way, when you see these people in videos and so on with a six pack and so on, they are not that strong actually. Many people believe that they are, but that's not the physiology of a very, very extremely strong person. It just isn't. But it was a pain to be that heavy for me. It's not my normal weight. So, but yeah, that was my weight. uh, um, yeah, fatter or chubbier is stronger. It is. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is like that. Um, Olivia Rackley is asking, and thank you for the donation. What do you think of asking the gods to help you curse someone when your enemies are trying to kill you? Well, there certainly is a distinct Norse tradition for doing that. Um, what I think about that, uh, I I don't know what to say. I will have conversations, not like I'm talking out loud, but I feel a closeness to nature and the spirituality of nature and the symbolism in that, and I will communicate with that. Sounds very far fetched with some people, but if you go to a church and you pray, well, you can't really say that what I'm doing is far fetched because it's nature is my church, as they say. And I will talk about everything, and I will, yeah. So if that's what you feel like doing, you should, um, prayer meditation ritual works. It focuses the mind. Yes, I think it does. Mankoko64 says the strongest men in the world have nothing close to six pack. It's not a sign of strength, it's a sign of not eating enough. Yeah, exactly. And there is another thing about that. We're a bit off topic, but I think it's interesting actually because I will tell you a little bit about physiology from my own experience. Um, we're talking about going off grid, moving into the wilderness and fending for yourself. And my personal belief is that after also having studied the participants in, have you seen Alone? And that was it History Channel? And what we know from survival situations that have been documented, a slim, fit, you know, bodybuilder or what's it called, CrossFit. Uh, that kind of physiology, it's not going to do much for you. It's not what you want, actually. And neither do you want to be someone who can run for miles after miles after miles. Well, let me backtrack on that a little bit. It is obviously a big advantage to have a good stamina, good cardiovascular uh, stamina, and be able to run, of course. But it's not that physiology you should aim for. And you shouldn't go around and carry a lot of excess fat, of course. But I would rather be a little bit too chubby than a little bit too skinny. If the grid went down tomorrow, if you know what I'm saying. Also, and a lot of what I'm saying here is based on me living in Norway, and it is cold most of the year. And I have been camping outside, sleeping outside in when I've been fatter than I am now, and also I've done it when I've been not ripped like those people, but with a six pack and all that. Yeah, I know I'm not saying that to brag, but it's like it happens when you have to lose weight to make your weight class, and I've been on occasion out camping in the woods, and you get cold because you don't have the body fat. So um, that's not a good thing, not a good thing at all. And obviously, you have a little bit of calorie storage in your body fat as well. So yeah, that was just someone. Um, Yeah, so I would say it's a huge difference having a little bit of extra layer of fat compared to being quite, having that physiology that most people think is the healthiest physiology, but it really isn't. It really isn't. um, and yeah, but this is, of course, don't get me wrong here. If your only goal is to build up a layer of fat, that's not healthy. That's not good, of course. But um, I'm talking about being healthy, eating in a sensible manner. I believe strongly in lifting weights. Um, and then if you have a layer of fat outside of that, on top of that, that's probably not negative at all. um, so okay, trying to have it's moving faster. Exactly 1,000 people watching now. So also, did I miss a super chat here? Yes, I did. I'm sorry about that. Ron Cohen, thanks for the donation. Thanks for the messages. Anything you can say about your thoughts about Israel, how it is presented in European media, Norwegian TV? Oh, you are in Israel. Okay. Things are bad here. Not much nature and overpopulated. Garden prepping. Great channel. Thanks for the donation. Just wanted to reply to that before I get back to Ran's message here. First of all, when it comes to things like bugging out or what we were talking about here, in a place like Israel, I don't know what to say about that because I have no experience in bugging out or moving into the wilderness and so on in a climate like that. I zero, none, uh, because I've never been in a climate like that. I guess there will be challenges when it comes to water and so on, but that's not really what you are asking here. I I understand that, and you'll have to forgive me because there are things we can't really talk about, but you will soon or already, it's like you have to have 4 Big Macs to be part of society, so to speak. And so obviously you want to get out, and I think you should. Um, it seems obvious, right? Because also, again, you'll have to forgive me. I'm trying to find the right words here so that this won't be taken down and all that. But there is the when it comes to fatalities, disease, and so on. In Israel, it's not looking good. So you should take that into consideration as well, obviously, and I think you are doing that, but it looks like those two things go together. Um, and I really can't get further into that here. But both those things are obviously reasons to leave, right? Yeah. So, okay. Hope I replied to your comment there. So, okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to be ending this live stream soon. And let me know if there is something you really, really want me to comment on. Preferably something that I can comment on. um, yeah, I tried the slow mode for the chat, but people get upset by that. Yeah, the price of power, electrical power, that is. And I'm going to joke a little bit now. I'm just trying to be transparent, and the first part here is not a joke. We are doing well, in this household. We have but two grown people with in good incomes, and I actually have two incomes because YouTube has become, a job as well. So I guess I work double there, but anyway, we're doing well. So now here comes the joke. Any kind of taxation that is the same for everyone, the same amount of money for everyone, is we should support that, because someone who, for instance, a single parent, working, maybe, not able to have so someone who is poor, a poor person, will have to pay the same as we pay. So obviously, if they are government, uh, did all the taxes, they said that all the taxes will be paid in that way, if you know what I mean. It will benefit us, if you have a household with high income. That's what you want, you know. Let every all taxation be that kind of taxation. When I studied economy, we learned it's called lump sum taxation. Yeah, so let's do that. End of joke. It's horrible, It is really horrible because it affects poor people, and it might not affect us that much, but it's not fair. It really isn't. It's quite horrible, actually. Yeah, well, Paulo Duarte, have a look at aquaponics. I know what it is, that's what I studied in school. Sustainable systems of agriculture, and aquaponics is super efficient and a really good way of growing food and protein. Good point there. Now, okay. So, I'll have to end the live stream now. It's getting later. And yeah, there are things writing here, and I would like to comment on that, but Richard Barlow, thanks for the donation. There were hundreds of Norsemen interested in meeting up with you to talk. Could you come out to the woods to have a socially distanced social event? Yeah, well, I could, but I don't know how and how that should happen. To be honest with you, okay. So no, I'm not on Telegram. I am on Rumble. No, not on Telegram, because you have to have a smartphone to log on to Telegram. So that's why I'm not on Telegram. Guided prepping, wonderful. Thank you for becoming a member to this channel. That's awesome. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Well, so okay, that's it for now. And I want to thank you all for joining, for the comments and all the donations. You guys are awesome, and we are in this together, and we are all individually, we are stronger than we know. We're strong, much, much stronger. There is, if you think, if you're sitting there now and you're feeling, the weight of the world on your shoulders, and maybe you're depressed and so on, keep moving. The Woodlander is here. Good to see you, and thanks for your videos, by the way. But I am okay. Lots of questions here. YouTube takes 30% of all donations. Other ways? Well, yeah, I have links to that in all the video descriptions. So you can check that out. But yeah, so if you are feeling depressed, lonely, afraid, sad, just know that, keep walking, keep working, keep hanging in there. And you're not alone. You're not alone. And there's another thing I would like to finish this live stream with. It's that this thing that if you are one, and chances are, if you're still watching here, if you are one of those people resisting, one of those people who still understand what freedom is, lots of people out there, they are looking up to you. They are admiring you for that. And they might even be people who are going along with the program and all that, But secretly, I think many of them are admiring people like you. So keep doing what you're doing, and stay strong. Okay, we'll talk soon. And again, thank you for joining this live stream.